The truth about returning to simple living. The idea that sounds easy from a distance. There's something about simple living that feels immediately appealing. Fewer things, less noise, more clarity. It sounds like a reset, like everything becomes lighter if you just remove what's unnecessary. I used to think it was mostly about physical things, clean space, fewer distractions, a calmer environment. And that part is true, but not in the way I expected. When simplicity meets real life, the moment you actually try to simplify something, it doesn't feel simple. You realize how many habits are already built into your day. Notifications, routines, constant input. Even when you remove something, something else fills that space almost immediately. It feels less like cleaning and more like untangling. Why complexity builds without you noticing? Most of the complexity in daily life doesn't come from one big decision. It builds slowly. One extra habit, one extra responsibility, one more thing to keep track of. None of it feels like too much at the time. But over time it adds up, and because it builds gradually, it becomes your normal. A day that feels full without a clear reason. I've noticed this on days that feel busy, even when nothing major is happening. You're doing things all day, but it's hard to point to what actually mattered. The day feels full, but not clear. That's when you start to realize it's not just about how much you're doing. It's about how scattered everything feels. Why letting go is harder than adding more. Adding something new is easy. It feels like progress. Letting go is different. It feels like you might lose something useful, even if you're not actually using it. This raises a question. Why does removing something feel riskier than adding something, even when the goal is to make things simpler? What happens when you actually reduce? When you do start removing things slowly, something shifts. There's more space, not just physically, but mentally. You notice fewer interruptions, fewer decisions. The day starts to feel more defined. It's not dramatic. It's subtle but consistent. The difference between empty and clear. At first, simplicity can feel like emptiness, like something is missing. But over time, it starts to feel more like clarity. The difference is in how it affects your attention. Instead of being pulled in multiple directions, your focus becomes more stable. Why simple living is not about less alone. Simple living is not just about reducing things. It's about being more intentional with what remains. If you remove everything without thinking about what matters, it just creates space without direction. The goal is not just less. It's better use of what's left. Final thoughts. Returning to simple living is not as easy as it sounds. It requires noticing what has been added over time and deciding what actually matters. The process is not instant and it doesn't always feel comfortable. But once you start experiencing the difference between constant input and clear space, it becomes easier to understand. Why simplicity is not about having less, but about needing less to feel focused. Thanks for watching.